It's the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Recording in progress. It's your show. It's up to you. You start whenever you're ready. And I'm not worthy. Go on. Go! Say something!
All right. Oh, you caught me unaware there. I'm
I
trying
know!
Right, that was sneaky. I don't know what's going. Right, I'm back. Hello and welcome to this week's Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast, brought to you from the planet Earth, the back arse of the galaxy, the back arse of the universe, and just don't come and visit this planet, right? And on that planet, in a place called Portsmouth, I present to you my co-host, Coclud, aka Michael Paul. Check out his channel because it's awesome.
Thank you. Are you saying that Portsmouth is the back arse of reality?
No, I never said that. I said the planet Earth.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still going about things being the back
No, but I
arse.
said on that planet there's a place called Portsmouth.
Yeah, I know, but it was a bit entwined with the back arse analogy at the beginning of your.
No, I didn't mean it in that. Sort of, like. I
How are you?
apologise to the residents and the people of Portsmouth. I never meant this. I apologise, and I'm really sorry. It wasn't like that. I was on about the planet Earth, and what I'm trying to say is that if you were a superior being, or from a nice planet, you would not want to come here.
But Martin, you are a superior being. So what are you doing here?
I don't know. I've been stuck in this fucking box for a week, waiting for you.
You poor sod. I think I said waiting for Star Trek Picard to start tomorrow.
Wow.
All right, so
Is it on tomorrow?
yes, it's on tomorrow. It's on.
I thought it was on Friday.
It's on in the States tomorrow. It's on in the UK and Amazon on Friday. So you'll be starting to get the reviews of it all starting tomorrow. I'm very excited about it, because I'm hearing a lot of really good stuff about it. So bring it on. It's gonna be huge.
All right, I won't better review it till Friday then.
No, but well, what can we say? I don't know why it can't be released on the same day, but sometimes these things magically appear early.
Well, I can imagine. I can imagine that there'll be a place somewhere in the dimensions of the internet that magically, through sheer willpower
and the force and everything else, and yes,
everything else.
But
this episode of
suddenly goes ping.
That's Picard, yeah.
Make it so. All right, Martin. So how are you? How's sunny London? Because it's been lovely here weather-wise today.
Oh, it's been fantastic here. It's been absolutely wonderful.
I had a scare today. I
What?
walked down to the beach today, which is about literally 8 minutes walk, and somebody said to me that part of the beach that I walk on, it's got a nudist colony beach, and there was a bloke in the buff. It was
really?
Yeah. It was literally, today's the 15th of Feb, and it was in the distance, and somebody warned me that you do get nudists, and I didn't know this.
Well, so hang on a minute. So you walk down to right, fuck off, right. So you're telling me where you live, right? 8 minutes from where you live, right? You walk down to this beach.
But only a part of it is not the bit I'm on, but a bit further to the left if you go to where I'm going.
And you saw a dude, but it all hanging out. And
yeah, well, it was a long way away, but he was definitely, and he was a bald guy. He must have been in his 60s and fat, and he had it all hanging out there.
That was me this morning.
What are you doing in Portsmouth, mate? No, it was a bit like, yeah, if I'm seeing this in February, God knows what it's going to be like in July.
So hang on, I know that we've got these like places. There's one up north, Scarborough, I think. There was one up north, somewhere up there. But I thought these places were like sealed off. Thought they had like.
No, there's not a sign. There's nothing. There's a few concrete sort of rocks in the sand on the beach where they sort of sit there. And the thing is, though, next time I sit there, I know that a bloke's arsehole has been sitting right where I'm sitting on naked before I was there. I don't know. I'm hoping that it was just a one-off. But I have heard warnings that there is a small area, a bit away from everybody else, but still relatively near to where I go, where you see people with their in the buff.
A couple of years ago, I was on a bus and I was down Shaftesbury Avenue, near Trafalgar Square, And it was in the morning, and I was looking out of the window, and it was like a day like this. And I saw this fella in a pair of sandals walking past Charing Cross Station with no clothes on. It just walking, like down, people just didn't know, I mean, it's living here, and
Yeah.
it was just walking, and I thought, what am I looking at? And it were all wafting about, and he's walking along.
You don't care.
And these police van pulled up, and about 6 of them got out, and they tried to nab him, but he avoided them.
I
And he kept
was hoping they'd
trying to
do that
catch him.
because I was thinking to myself, if they came to my beach, they're just like, oh, hello mate, how you doing? Yeah, is it a bit cold down there? It's all right, mate. We won't arrest you. Just go ahead. I just think it's weird. I mean, like I said,
Well, they got him. I mean, they caught him anyway.
Yeah,
They
but
managed to
surely-
catch him.
if anybody with their little kid, imagine little kids coming down from Farnham or something. Come on, little Jimmy, let's go down to the South Sea. Let's go to the Portsmouth. Let's go. And he goes there and he gets to the bit of beach. And there he is. He's got his bucket and spade. And he's walking up. Look at these little rocks up there. These are nice. Okay. And then suddenly there's a bloke who's about 60, bald, fat, and having his todger hanging out of sort of like flopping around in the wind. I mean, what is that kind of thing? The kid's going to be traumatised, isn't he?
Yeah, but you've got to be, Michael. You have to be a bit more open-minded. We're living in like in you have to be appreciative of what people are into. You know, I thought here at the Solar One, at the Solar One Studios, I thought we were quite progressive. I mean, you saw Naked Man.
Well, I
And it
didn't
was
want to
all
see it. I mean,
wafting
because
around,
I mean,
walking around.
he put me off my sandwich.
Well, I can imagine it'd have put me off as well, but
Yeah.
it's his right to express himself on that beach being naked, and thank God I don't live near there. But well, it'll get interesting over summer, won't it?
I know, but what if I wanted to do a live podcast or like
I bet if it were a naked 25-year-old woman,
Yeah, it never is though.
oh, look
It
like
never
a
is.
Superman. No.
The thing is though, if it was like models
It
or
never
something else,
is.
if it's like Benny
Yeah,
Hill
is it?
girls or something, then like okay, I just
You
gonna
know,
go
you're
for a
not gonna
stroll.
You're not going to see Jerry Ryan walking down the beach at Portsmouth with no clothes on, are you? Yeah, it just don't happen, does it?
No, you look like
Yeah.
something that looks like a sumo wrestler kind of thing. with
Yeah.
his big- And he had a bike as well. And I thought to myself, is he going to go on with a bike? I assume he's going to get dressed before he
Are
gets.
you
his
sure
bike.
that he might have escaped from somewhere? He were on the loose. Are you sure he could have
He
been?
might have
like-
done. Like I said, this is the first I've seen of anything, and I was very shocked because it's only mid-February for crying out loud. So what's it going to be like in mid-July?
Well, don't people go swimming like naked and stuff in like January and that?
Oh, I suppose.
I
so.
saw it in the beach where they all go into water in January on New Year's Day, freezing cold. They all running there naked.
Yeah, but I thought
I'll
they
tell
were
you what
locked
they
up.
do here, and I could show you photographs of it every year here, right? One day a year, round the city, you get about 500 people with no clothes on. They all cycle.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, I know about that.
I was in the pub once one Saturday afternoon, and I looked out, and there were all these naked people flying past me on bikes, and this fella said, "This is just." You know, the guy got really offended by it all. I thought, well, you know, I mean, they're doing it for whatever. They get one day a year to cycle around central London with no clothes on.
It's weird though. Isn't
I don't know
it?
if they do it anymore. I've not
Yeah,
seen
but it's
it.
so weird, isn't it? I mean, why would you want to do that? I mean, I don't understand people. But as you say, we're going to be open-minded, progressive, and it's, you know, if you
but
want to...
what he could have been an alien that got beamed down by a mothership, and they didn't know about clothes, and they said, "Look, we'll give you a bike."
Hey,
and
maybe he
just
came
walk
from one of
around.
those air balloons that have been in over America or something. That thought
Yeah,
maybe
I wanted
UFOs.
to discuss that in this show, actually.
Oh, good. Do you want to lead on to that then? Because that. What do you think about all this? I mean, some people have been saying.
Well, I got it. I think I saw Weather Balloon last week. I wasn't that bothered about it. I thought,
No,
well,
no.
they probably do this all the time. And then I think it was Friday or Saturday. America shot down a UFO.
yeah.
Straight away, I saw it on YouTube. This like 1 minute JPEG, and I got in. I thought, what? They shot down the UFO straight away. The word UFO resonated.
Of course it
I was
does.
down there, and
Yeah.
they had this American like
General.
commentator.
It was like a general or something. And he was
Yeah.
saying it could be extraterrestrial life, he said.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. It moved a bit odd, and it was up in air, and we shot it down. And then I went out next day, and I got back in, and I saw it again. Another object, another
Yeah,
UFO.
and then there was a fourth one. It's like 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah, and I thought, by Sunday night, I was sat there thinking, if aliens are sending ships down to make contact with us, we've just blown 3
We
of them
could have
out of
actually
the sky.
initiated an interstellar war by shooting down an alien spacecraft.
Well, I don't recommend our chances much then.
Well,
But
no,
I mean,
I
then
don't.
what does that say about them that keep sending ships down and
I
they
know.
get blown out of? Oh, but they're still not revealed what.
No,
they
I
are.
know they haven't. I mean, they found the debris from the first one, which we know was some sort of surveillance thing. But these other 3 or 4, whatever they are, they don't know what they are. So it's really weird. So yeah. So let's hope.
And then we got our idiot Prime Minister going up, telly going, "Don't worry, we have a special force that will send up straight away and will shoot anything down." I thought, well, Rishi, you're making me feel safe there, you know, because you may just instigate an interstellar war.
You know what? That's why Nicola Sturgeon quit today in Scotland.
Oh, she did.
She
yes,
thought
I
she
saw
went.
that.
She went. All right, I'm going to quit now because we're all doomed. Sorry, that's a very terrible Scottish accent.
Oh, it's just getting fucking worse, isn't it? I mean, you've got the worst people running the fucking planet. You have, haven't you? I mean, there ain't any redeemable politicians in any country in the world.
No.
I'm on about the fucking lot of them, and now we're getting UFOs shot down, and this is all in a weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You sat there thinking, do you know, whenever like this back it now.
No, do you know what? Life in the
You know what I
2020s. In the 2020s, we've had a pandemic. Russia's turned into a complete Soviet Union again because of this idiot running
Yeah,
it.
just lost the world.
Yeah, lost the bill.
domination, Yeah.
And now we've got UFOs. I mean, Jesus Christ, what's it going to be like by 2025? I mean, honestly, and that terrible earthquake we just had as well. I mean, it's been awful. It's been a terrible bloody time.
Well, you know what's going to happen in 2025? That voice from the end of Planet of the Apes 2 is going to speak.
Once upon a time, there was a planet called Earth. And now it is all gone and everyone is dead. I love the ending of that film. The ultimate downbeat fucking movie ever made. The way he was saying, it was like, it wasn't even like, you couldn't even see the guy. It's just like pitch black. It was just like a black thing. On an Earth once upon a time, and now they're all dead. It was so funny. I love that film, but that ending's hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, that voice, there was just no passion in it all. Now they're dead.
You can tell he recorded that on a Monday morning, can't you?
Yeah, and it's like the rest of the universe just didn't even blink.
It's just an insignificant planet, and all the Pratts on the planet are now gone, or now dead. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, we're going to talk about Marvel this week. So the reason I thought this is because Martin has really done his best to get me to watch a lot of the Marvel stuff. I've watched most of the movies. I've seen 1 or 2 of the TV shows, and I like the first 2 or 3. I didn't like the 4th one, which was the Hulk thing, but that's fair enough. You know about that. But I wanted to go back to the fact that we've never reviewed a Marvel movie.
Haven't we?
No, never, not one. A couple of TV shows, but never a movie.
Oh, right.
So I thought that you would like. I partly did this as
All
a.
right,
you.
right, let's do the
So
Marvel
let's go
movies
into
then.
let's go in the jingle and hit on our focus of the week. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi.
focus of the week.
All right, so this is a movie which came out apparently in 2008. It starred Robert Downey Jr. and all my information with it had it disappeared. And it was about a guy a bit like Elon Musk. Except he didn't design cars; he designed sort of robotic things. So while I get all my information up because it's just disappeared, tell me what you think about Iron Man 1.
I think Iron Man 1's superb.
So
I
what is it
really
you like?
do. I really do, because Marvel were down the toilet by that stage.
But this was the catalyst for
So
this
what?
whole after this movie that we had this whole series
Except
of
Marvel
movies.
did that film because that had originally it sort of want they actually financed it under Disney at the time.
Right.
It wasn't until Disney walked in because when Disney bought them out, they bought them out not long after,
Okay.
and Iron Man saved them. Iron Man saved them because they'd had a couple of movies out like before, like Daredevil, and there were some terrible movies. Like they were just awful.
Cheesy
There were a
movies.
few. There were Daredevil. Yeah, I mean they put the money into like Daredevil. We're expecting them to be big. It's Spider-Man, but that was Sony, so
That was slightly different, wasn't it? Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Because it's all Marvel own the copyright, but they don't own the movie rights to Spider-Man.
It gets all complicated, doesn't
The
it?
studios flogged off a load of characters. It's like that. Well, I don't want to bring it up, but I suppose I'm going to have to. The Hulk series. That's what you were sort of getting.
I'm not going there because
I'm not. No. But what I'm going to say is that Marvel own Hulk outright, but they don't own the film and TV rights to it because they flogged it years ago for nothing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's why Universal they own. When they put the Hulk in the Avengers.
Oh yeah, because Universal did the old 70 series. Oh, okay.
They have to rent him, but they own the marketing, any merchandise, films, comics, and merch. They own all that.
Okay.
So that's it. So they showed that off, and there were a couple. I mean, but when they did Iron Man, originally they wanted Tom Cruise to do it.
Oh, okay. That would be an interesting choice.
Yeah, because Robert Downey Jr.'s career, it was in the toilet at the time.
I mean, I don't know what he did before Iron Man. I know of him.
Oh,
I don't know.
He was an Oscar winning. He was like he was in Chaplin. He got an Oscar for it.
Oh, okay. I never saw that.
And he was doing a lot of drugs and drinking and all that, and he got arrested. I don't know why he got arrested. He went to prison or something.
Okay.
And he came out, and his career, well, he wasn't where he was. And it changed when, obviously, it changed. I'm a big fan of Robert Downey Jr., but his career,
he's good in the role, yeah.
nobody had touched him.
That's right.
And he ended up in Ally remember Ally McBeal?
Ally McBeal. Yeah, I never saw it. Another one of those things I
I
never
only
saw.
saw one or two episodes. The person I was going out with at the time, she was in, so but he was in, I think he was in that he was on the television levels, trying to get back.
Okay.
And somehow he ended up, they didn't want him, it was Tom Cruise, but they wanted Tom Cruise, he didn't want to do it.
Okay.
And Robert Downey Jr. did it because he didn't get paid a lot of money for the first one.
Okay.
And it just blew. It saved basically Marvel from bankruptcy,
Okay.
And that's it. And Iron Man, to me, is probably the best Marvel movie.
Now that's interesting. Out of all
when
the
I
movies,
saw Iron
that's
Man,
your
I
favourite.
cried reading the comic. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say because
Yeah.
So-
I don't know why, because they brought for the first time, they brought the comic to how it should have been.
Okay.
This is what you read in a comic. It's when you read it and your head's simulating it all and all that. When I saw Iron Man at the cinema, to me, it was like I was reading an Iron Man comic again. And I thought Robert Downey Jr. just nailed it.
Yeah, he was very good, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was Spider-Man. He was the face of Marvel, and then suddenly, because Iron Man is popular, but he wasn't. He was like he had a comic, and he was like an Avenger, but he had a following, but he wasn't like big comics like Spider-Man and all that. And
Right.
then Iron Man just propelled everything through roof.
Yeah. And then
It's
everything's
interesting
sort of
to
like
look into it.
it's interesting, as you say, because I mean I grew up and although I've never been a big comic man, I know you're much more of a comic fan than I was, but I was aware of things like obviously Spider-Man and Incredible Hulk, and then you had the Superman universe, the DC universe, didn't you, with Superman and Batman, all that stuff. And you know a lot more
Yeah.
than this than I do. I've made it
But
quite clear. I'm not a huge
Marvel,
Batman fan.
at the end of Iron Man, so I left the cinema when credits came. A lot of people left, and
Oh, they had an end credit. They had something at the end.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
somebody told me a week later. He said, "Didn't you say end credit?" I said, "Well, no."
No.
And they said Nick Fury from Shield were in his mansion, talking about the Avengers initiative, and that's when Marvel. That was such a stroke of
That was a
genius.
very clever idea to set up
Nobody had
a
done
series. Yeah, that was very clever.
Nobody had done
No, I
that,
agree.
and that is what, to me, cemented the first stone in the Marvel Universe MCU.
Yeah.
Nobody done that. They're all doing it now. That little, because we all sit and wait till credits finish now.
Yeah, because
But
you know
when
it's going to
they-
be there. Yeah, exactly.
And Samuel L. Jackson was dressed up as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all this, and saying you're not the only superhero in the world. There's a whole world out there you don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And that's what, and when I finally got it on DVD, that was the bit I wanted to see, and we cemented the Marvel Universe.
And so it's been going since that. So it's where are we now? So 15 years then, about 15 years
Yeah,
since.
because Avengers was the first like proper superhero team up movie we got ever. I mean,
It was
I
clever,
remember-
yeah. And what I like about the
Genius.
Avengers is that all these different elements came together to make this bit. That was very clever.
Yeah,
It was a bit like if they had a Star Trek movie and they had like Deep Space Nine and Next Generation and Voyager and everything together kind of thing. And that's one thing as a fan of these franchises, when they, you know, I love crossovers, and Marvel has got a lot of crossovers, which is really cool. And I can see why. I mean, Marvel's huge though. I mean, isn't Avengers still one of the most Avengers Endgame, one of the highest grossing movies of all time?
Yeah,
It's still right up there, top 5 or top 3 or something.
Marvel. It's interesting with Marvel because what they did was like, it's then we got Iron Man, and then I think we got Captain America. I think it was Hulk the next one.
I think Hulk was the next one, and they had a different actor. They had a
then
different actor in the first one. Then they had to, yeah, that's
and
right.
then we got Captain America, the first Avenger.
And then I think it's Thor after that.
Yeah, because like everybody thought it'd become like cheesy Captain America. So there's been a few cheesy movies in the past, but they got it right. They nailed the character. The really
Yeah, it was
went for
done
it.
well. Yeah,
And
it
then
was done well.
and then we got Thor,
That's right.
and then they added the minor cat like Black Widow and all kind. They brought
Yeah.
them in through the event. They made appearances in the other films.
Then you got Doctor
As minor
Strange
characters,
and
and
Ant-Man and Spider-Man, and it's
Yeah.
very cleverly done. I give them all credit. So
But
I was going to say, I mean,
but
go on. After you. go
no,
on.
the other thing was what they did at the end of Avengers, the final scene, with the villain that was revealed. It took 10 years to find. They built a 10-year story arc
Right.
on the movies, so everything that was going on in all them movies, 22 movies, went all the way to Avengers Endgame.
Right.
That every one of them movies is connected
Yeah.
to that movie. That's where the entire story finishes there. And now we're at the last movies we've had. They're starting a new story. That's why they're being they're putting the little opening bits in now for the big. Because it's going to be Secret Wars, and that's massive in Marvel. Secret Wars is massive when Doctor Doom becomes God and all this. That's where they're going now. That's why they brought Kang in, the time-traveling supervillain.
Right. Okay.
Marvel's into the multiverse now, parallel universes and all this.
Well, that's quite a prominent thing now.
Loki
Well,
was the first key to it.
Yeah. So I suppose really I should ask then. I mean, do you think that the character of is it Tony Stark and the Iron Man? I mean, did it go as far as you'd hope it would have done? I suppose it would have done because he appeared in about 10 movies.
Yeah, I can understand it from his point of view. He's been playing that character, since 2008? I mean, he played that character for 10
About
years.
10
I mean,
years. I was going to say it would have been about 10 years, wouldn't it?
You know, I would have liked to have seen him still being around, but you know, I thought he got a good send off in Endgame. I really did.
Yeah.
And you know, but for me, he was the heart of the Marvel universe. You know.
Yeah. So it's one of those tough things that, you know.
But he's
and,
coming back.
Well, he's coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Is this something? Is this well known? I don't
Secret Wars. It's very clever how they've done it, and it works.
Is it a multiverse thing?
Well, there's two ways they can bring it. He'll either be an AI.
Right. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, an AI. Yeah.
And because like Secret Wars, the multiverse gets destroyed, and Doctor Doom becomes God. But he merges what's left of each parallel universe and creates a new Earth, and it's all like upside down societies and all that, and he could be in because there'll be another dimensional version of Tony Stark somewhere,
Okay.
and that's how they're the two ways he's coming back.
But is
Bob-
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert,
coming back
yeah.
though? Is he
Yeah.
coming back, the actor?
Maybe for 2 movies as another Tony Stark from somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I can't see them sort of like going with somebody else because it wouldn't work. So to round off then, so really, how would you rate then Iron Man number 1 out of 10? Give us what you think.
I'm going to give Iron Man a straight 10. I loved it. For me, I got everything I ever wanted
Yeah.
in Iron Man. I wasn't a big fan of Iron Man 3. I felt a bit let down with Iron
Okay.
Man.
I can't even remember the other 2 movies actually.
No,
But you've seen a lot more of Marvel than I have. I would say I'll give it.
it's the best out of the 3 of them. It's the first one.
I probably give it an 8 out of 10. I think it was a very solid movie. I'm not into Marvel as much as you are. I like them, but I know that there is a real special place for the whole universe. But I did think that the very first movie was very solid. I love the idea of this sort of like guy where he creates this. He's got a lot of money behind him. He can create all this sort of technology, and he uses it, and the way it sort of evolves from there. I think it was very, very sound. And what I liked.
Well, I thought you went from an arrogant billionaire genius playboy who ended up in a situation in a cave with this other professor that said to him, "Look, your whole life, this life of all about you. It's not, there's something better than that," and
Right.
that defined him through the whole 10-year trilogy of that Dr. Yinsen when he were in that cave with him, when he had that battery tied to his heart to keep him alive and that. And I thought that was beautiful. I really, because it goes why he's so driven. Because he stopped making weapons after that, and he,
I think what I like about him, and what I like about Iron Man, is actually that he's not a superhero. It's technological,
no, it's technology.
and that to me gave it a great perspective in the Marvel universe because most Marvel characters are basically superheroes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
And of course, Tony Stark's character is not. It's a technological breakthrough. It's technological. And I like that. And that to me it appeals. It reminds me a little bit of something like RoboCop. As well. It was very enhanced technology used actually for the power of good. And I just think to me it works. And as you say, I think it's a very solid movie. I always remember seeing the first one, especially that earlier on where he builds a sort of like a pre-Iron Man thing. And it has a lot of appeal to me. And I think it still holds up very well now. So
I do.
And I'm really glad that it made it. And it is amazing just how big Marvel is. And although I haven't seen the last couple of Marvel movies, I have seen most of them. But
You're not missing much.
no, I've heard that. That's partly what's put me off actually going to see
But
them.
they are moving into a new story arc now. So
Yeah.
what they've been trying to do for the last few movies, they've been trying to bring in other characters.
Right.
Because what Emmett plays for, I think he's doing a 5th one now. That normally they get rid of you after 3 movies once you've done the trilogy. Because Guardians, that's out this year, that's the final one.
Yeah,
but then we'll
that's
get a
three.
new team of They're already replacing the Star-Lord character with Adam Warlock.
Oh.
He'll be building the new Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's like they've got to keep moving all the time. It's like the Avengers. There's 2 Avengers movies on the way, but it's going to be a whole new team of Avengers with 4. I think Captain America is coming back. Chris.
Let me quickly ask you before we run out with our Skype before we go into the next stage. Do you see that Marvel perhaps can become oversaturated with its own stuff? Can it be?
I think that's been the problem with it. Yeah.
Can it be the
The
point
TV
where
shows have
Remain.
been up and down with people.
Yeah. So like franchise fatigue, like Star Trek had in the early noughties. It makes me wonder where they've got like film after film. They've got all these live action TV series now, where there's a point where people just say, "Oh, sod this is too much," kind of thing.
Marvel has a few big guns to play, like when they did the Eternals and stuff like that. They're minor characters the comics never sold. It's like Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi were brought out. He came out when the karate movies were out in the 70s. Bruce Lee. He had a comic. It's got a cult following. But these characters, they're trying to bring them in now. But they've got the Fantastic Four to play out yet.
Right.
Galactus, Doctor Doom. These are the ones what people are wanting now. They're not that bothered about the small characters. They really
They
should
want the
have
big
gone
ones. Yeah, okay.
We've seen Reed Richards from Fantastic Four already. We saw him in Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange.
Okay.
But it's the Fantastic Four is the one that's going to be the defining film now.
Okay.
And from them we'll get probably 2 more Avengers movies. I think after Secret Wars, I don't know where they're going to go.
All right. Well, let's see. I mean, like I said, even if it were to sort of fizzle out a bit, I mean, it's had a good innings. It's certainly generated a lot.
They've made billions.
Yeah, so it's not a failure in any way, shape,
No.
or form. But as you say, I mean, there might be only so far it can go, and I'm sure that you'll be the one that'll be aware of exactly where it's going. And looking at the pros and cons. Right. On that note, we're just going to quickly just fade out, come in now because it's our Skype break, and then we're going to, if it's okay with you, I'd like one last discussion on our hopes for Star Trek Picard Season 3, which will be starting in the next couple of days. So we're going to fade out, come back in, and we'll just have a round up.
I'll see you in 5 minutes then.
See you in a minute. All right, so we're back for part 2, and so basically, I wanted to sort of finish off today's show with something really big for Star Trek fans, which is just about to air. It's episode 1, which of course is Star Trek Picard. Now, everyone has got some very mixed views about seasons 1 of Picard, season 1 and 2. I certainly do. We really loved the beginning of season 2, which was written by Terry Matalas, and of course he did the ending, I think, as well of that season. And of course he's done season 3. So I've heard a lot of very, very positive reviews from a lot of people who are very, very anti-New Trek. So I just wanted to ask you, as it's about to start, what do you want to see Picard season 3 feature? What will be your highlights, and hopefully you'll get to see?
What in Picard season 3?
Yeah, the last season. What is it you want to see out of it? What are your hopes for the season?
I don't want to. I know I'm not going to get to see TNG at its finest. It's gonna. I think it's gonna be good to see. It's great to finally see them all together again.
Yep.
And I think they're getting a very fitting send off if this where it finishes.
Right.
And from I don't know, it's Worf. I'm really excited about. Out of all of them, it's Worf.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. What do I want to say? I'm the same. I mean, I just basically, from what I've heard from one reviewer, he says that it's a more fitting end for the Next Generation than the end was for the Undiscovered Country for the end of the original series, which I think is a lovely positive feedback, because that had quite a nice ending to that first chapter of Star Trek. I agree. I'd like it to end in a way where you have a proper goodbye. A lot of people hated Nemesis, the way it finished. I actually didn't mind Nemesis myself, but it could have been done better.
It could. The villain. There were no need to have a clone of him.
No.
One of the original stories was it was going to be Data's brother.
What, Lore?
He stayed. Yeah, he was going to be like Rafa Khan. I remember reading about it years ago. The plan was that Nemesis. They built a new type of starship.
Right.
And Law steals it, and he's going to be like Rafa Khan.
Okay.
But it was going to be Lord's brother, and the Enterprise goes after him. He's going to do something. And I thought that would have been amazing to have seen that. You know, like Data's brother.
Well, I would like to have seen that, because technically you did see one of Data's brothers. You saw B4 in the same movie, but it was a less advanced version. It was more like a puppet for the Picard clone. I think it's Shinzon, I think his name was. I'd love to see a bit more of Lore. And of course, we do know that Lore is actually coming back this season.
They've gone for the classic 2 villains. I mean, you've got Moriarty,
You got Law,
Yeah,
and you got this, and the Amanda Plummer's character as well.
Yeah,
Um,
she's like, we don't know who she is.
No,
do
but
we?
I like Amanda Plummer. She's a great
Yeah,
actress.
she
In the
is,
stuff I've
she
seen
is.
her, she's really
Yeah.
good. And of course, she's the daughter of Christopher Plummer, going back to
Yeah.
the Undiscovered Country,
Yeah,
which is the
yeah.
lovely, weird kind of parallel there. That the two Plumbers are in the last episode or the last
But-
story featuring the.
But it's interesting that they've I mean, I was very excited when I saw the Moriarty hologram.
Well, I don't know where they could go with unless Moriarty. I reckon Moriarty might be used because Moriarty was used as a program to defeat Data. What if he's rebooted as a program to defeat Law?
Interesting.
Parallel.
And
That's
is,
I think that could be a possibility. I might be completely wrong.
is Moriarty going to get what the Doctor had? Is he going to get
Or a mobile emitter.
yeah.
I don't I have no idea.
It's going to be interesting to find out.
Yeah, I mean, Raffi had a mobile. They had the mobile emitter in a previous season of Picard, so
Yeah.
I would have thought by this point they actually would be easier to actually have. And we have seen an image of Law wearing a Starfleet uniform of all things. So I don't know why he's now in Starfleet, or why maybe he is some sort of temporary commission for the actual mission they're on, or something.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting below because he might, from what because how we know the character of Law, he might blame Picard for his brother's death.
I don't know. All I know
It'd be
is
interesting to see that though. You know, somehow he's been because wasn't he taken apart?
he was deactivated after Descent
Well,
Part 2.
somebody's put him together,
Yeah.
and maybe it's that.
Maybe they've had to.
Samantha's
Maybe they've had to. And of course, the other thing is that I've already thought this, that B4 couldn't run Data's software.
No,
But Data's software could they not transfer the dormant B4 with Data's software into Law at the end of the season or something and bring back Data?
No.
Why not? Why can't his memory be wiped out and they just literally install Data's memory from
Data
Law?
wanted to die, didn't he? He wanted to go off to Silicon Heaven. Well, he did. Where's he going to go?
You know Data's going to come
Silicon.
back by the end of the season. You know that. He's going to come back. Somehow.
Do you
they'll-
really believe
Yes.
that? I mean, last week you were saying Harry Kim were going to
Yeah, I do. Harry Kim was the captain of the
fucking
Enterprise F, and I think Data will be back by episode 10.
You know.
I do.
No, Data's gone to Silicon Heaven.
A
He's
version,
Data's been
version
written-
of Data. No, but that Data was a tiny essence from the artificial human ones. The memory of Data is still before that in B4. So surely they could transfer the memory from B4 into Law, and then
Maybe
it will
they
be the Data that we knew before he just died in Nemesis.
But Data wanted to go to Silicon Heaven, and he's probably come back as a toaster now, and he's quite happy.
Maybe he's
I'm
the
just saying,
he's
you
the
know what I
talkie
mean?
toaster on Red Dwarf.
It's
in the next
the
thing.
talkie toaster, yeah. Because that's where he said, I want to go to Silicon Heaven, you know, I want to join out microwaves and that, and, you know, talkie toaster.
Silicon Heaven. Where do all the calculators go? I have to work Crichton back in Red Dwarf because I'm a big Red Dwarf fan. All right, well, I just hope that it's a good story. I think it's going to be. Apparently, they're throwing a lot of money in it. It's got a fantastic musical score, lots of ship porn, which I still want to see. I want to see loads of starships because I love starships, and I just want to see something really special because
Are we going to say the Enterprise?
we are definitely going to see at least one scene of the Enterprise F because it's in the trailer.
Why can't they, be on it and using it?
I know.
Do you know
Although
what I mean?
I do know one thing about the Enterprise F that we do see, and I don't know if you want to know this. Do you want to know what it is?
Go on, tell me.
When we see that scene where we see Enterprise F, do you know what it is? It's the decommissioning of the Enterprise F.
Oh.
It is the end of the Enterprise F. So that's interesting.
That is interesting. So there's an.
So we may even see an
could be a new
Enterprise G.
Enterprise,
It could be.
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's just minor spoiler apparently.
So and we're 2 weeks away from the Mandalorian then.
Yep.
No.
That's 1st of March, I think it is. Yeah.
Do you want to do something for that?
What?
Do you want
What
to
do you
do a
want to do?
stream? I don't. What about a StreamYard show?
Yeah, I'm up for that. Do it on your channel, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem. We can do a stream. I mean, it's because I've not used StreamYard in ages.
We have talked about doing this before. We never get around to it. But yeah,
No,
I'm up for it. Yeah, I'm
no.
up for doing that. Yeah.
I don't know if you get. It's I like recording. You see, I'm not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
into
yeah.
the whole live
Well,
thing
I'm used
anymore.
to. I'm used to. I'm the same. I'm actually on Sidetrack tonight. I'm doing a live with Jay tonight, by the way. So I'm gonna be on
what
my
time? What time?
8 o'clock. To a couple of hours time for
Right,
recording
I'll
this
be
one.
there.
So we're going to be talking about Picard, like I'm talking to you right now. So
Yeah.
so
Excellent.
I'm in full Star Trek mode today. So yeah, just to round off, I'm really excited about it. I've got the feeling that this is going to be the winner, you know, let's hope. Please just go out on top, make us happy again, because there's been so much uneven written material from Star Trek since it came back.
Well, don't you think it'd be good if, like, at the end, Picard sacrifices his life and goes down with the ship? He saves everybody, and that's it.
I would hope that, but I've already heard that he's open to coming back to doing other stuff, which suggests he's going to survive. I think a member of the Next Generation crew will die, and if I were to hedge my bets, and I've already said this to you, who I think is going to get killed off, it's going to be Troy. I don't know why I think it's Troy. I think Troy's going to die. Yeah, that's what I think. So Troy, Captain Kim, and what's the other thing I said?
And Silicon Heaven.
Yeah. And Talkie Toaster. Yeah, exactly.
You know, Mr. Data's come back. He's
Oh,
the
Data, yeah,
replicator,
Data's coming back. Yeah, Data's come back.
He's
again.
now the toaster. Bring the toaster up to the bridge.
So that is my pre-season 3. Those 3 things: Data, Captain Harry Kim, and what's the other one I said? What was the other thing I said? What was the other thing I said? I was just gone.
Silicon Heaven.
No. Oh yeah, Troy dying.
Yeah, you know. Well, I mean, I do. I like Marina Sayers. I think she's cool, but I mean, really a character. I mean, it's you know.
Yeah. Is it right?
Well, she was all right, wasn't she? I mean, you know. Do you remember that with Jellicoe? When he said to her, "Do you mind putting some appropriate clothing on?" Remember when he said that to her?
Yeah, but the thing is, she looked really good in the uniform when she
She
came
did,
out.
right? Yes, she did.
Very
She
nice.
did.
Oh yes.
I don't
Alright.
know. The Doctor might get it. You know, the Doctor, she might get it.
Well, I know that apparently Gates Bifan's character Crusher is going to be heavily featured in this season. She's had the most written for her since the Next Generation days, probably ever. She's got a good story in this thing. I think they've really to entice everybody back, and I think it wasn't that hard because they're all best of mates. They all go and socialise together on their own. They you know, like that. They're godparents of each other's children. They get together. They have these big, you know, they're the best of mates, which is really nice to know, isn't it? That
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
after all these
yeah.
years, they're all the best of mates.
I don't want to kill any of them off.
I might be wrong. I don't know.
You know,
They might
you're
not.
horrible, you. I mean,
No, it's not me.
you know, Troy might die. You know, that is going to be great watching her get blown up. You know, and
Look,
and Data
they'll
coming
probably
back
all
as
have
a
they'll
toaster.
probably all have a happy ending, and Data will still be toasted by the memory, and Law is just saying, "Oh yes, I love my brother," and Harry Kim is still an ensign. Maybe you're right. Maybe none of it will happen.
You know, Harry Kim. 25 years later, and he's still an innocent.
35 years.
35.
No, actually, no, it's not. It's
No, it's going to be interesting because Aunt Picard got it off with that Romulan chick now.
I think she's buggered off now back to Romulan Island.
Oh right. So they've left it open. For
Well, no,
them
at the end,
not Fadden then.
Yeah, well, that's what I reckon. Because she was, I like that actress actually. She was.
Oh,
also
she's
in-
lovely. Yeah,
She was in Doctor
I
Who as
really
well.
Fancy her.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I think she's lovely. No, I don't. But it's. I thought she's not in this series.
yeah,
then.
which tells me that they're going to try and open something up with Crusher.
I mean, before we go, I mean, they have wasted some characters in this, haven't they? Do you remember the girl that was the positronic android chick?
Lol. Oh, are you talking about the original series?
No, in the first season.
Oh yeah, the one of the twins. I can't remember the character's names.
I mean, they just totally got rid of her halfway through second season. Well, an iteration of her.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I mean, there's been some characters in this who've just totally wasted it. Last 2 seasons.
Well, that's the problem. The problem is that the writing for the first 2 seasons has been uneven, and most of the actual regular characters weren't very well done. I like the Spanish guy, the Mexican guy.
I would have liked to have seen him get a starship and be like the next series up. From Strange
because
New Worlds.
he was the captain of the Stargazer, and I thought, don't leave him in the 21st century. He was what I wasn't sure the first season, but by the second season, I thought actually this character's really good. His name's Christopher something. I think his name.
Rios.
That's it.
Yeah, I thought to
I liked
myself,
him.
why?
They're wasting his character.
It was just such a way. It was like, well, they wasted John Delancey, didn't they? I
Yeah,
mean,
they did waste his character. Yeah,
such a waste.
I thought he'd be so prominent. He was just like phoned in. It wasn't him. I just don't think they wrote him very well. But I still thought his ending when he actually gave Picard a sort of hug and he was off on his way to die. I found that quite
I've
emotional.
always loved you.
No, I actually found that quite poignant. I thought that was quite.
No,
touching.
I did because they were like a pet, weren't they?
Yeah, I like that. After all those years of seeing him, I thought that was actually nicely. That ending was done well.
No, it was because like Picard were like his favourite hamster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The problem with
like
Picard in season 2 was it should have been 4 episodes. It should have been episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then the last one. Get rid of all the 21st century stuff. Chuck it in 1 episode and finish it off. It would be fine.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It was way too.
I'm going to hold you to these predictions. That Data's coming back as a toaster. Troy's going to die. And you said Harry Kim's going to come back as
in the Enterprise F, yeah.
35 years later. I bet he's still going to be an ensign, a security guard.
Well, maybe he's a security guard on the Enterprise F. I don't know.
God. Been trying to get promoted for 35 years. Been behind this table for years.
The 7-9 gets a field commission of commander straight away.
She does, yeah.
I know. I bet Harry Kim would be pissed off about that, wouldn't he?
But I thought, gee, we're going to have that. I mean, there was all that thing about her and Great Destiny Whitborg and all that. They all got dropped, didn't they?
No, it's almost like a reboot. Season 3. They're picking up all the mess from seasons 1 and 2.
The last 2 seasons, and
they're going in their own direction. But I do think, partly in their defence, they had to do what they did because Patrick Stewart would only come back if it was more of a standalone Star Trek series focusing on him, not just a Next Generation. He didn't want a Next Generation, but they managed to sort of get round him for season 3. I think that's partly the problem. I don't think it was all their fault. Patrick Stewart didn't want them all to come back. He wanted his own season. Or series. That's what happened. Alright, Martin, well, I think we'll wrap up now. Next week we will do X, the Man with the X-Ray Eyes, which is a scary bloody film in some scenes. That's a really powerful movie. And I'm glad you've seen it. Maybe give it a watch before we watch it next week. But I only saw it recently and I really enjoyed it again. I know it's old, but it's really good.
Yeah, some of the classics are great.
I love them. I love them. Me too. I'm going to end with a little sort of clip I just came across before I recorded this, and it was former President Barack Obama going on about Iron Man. It was just a funny thing he did at a press conference. It made me laugh, and I thought it'd be a nice way to end because obviously it's poignant. So, Martin, thank you very much. We'll catch you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. See you next week.
Today I am joined by researchers who invent some of the most advanced metals on the planet, designers who are modeling prototypes in the digital cloud, folks from the Pentagon who help to support their work. Basically, I'm here to announce that we're building Iron Man. I'm going to blast off in a second. This has been a secret project we've been working on for a long time. Not really. Maybe. It's classified.